Hello, friends and family. It's really great to be here with you. And man, what a journey it's been this last year. And really hoping for some incredible things in this 2015 season. We really are as a family. And I don't know how many of you or how much you've been following our daughter's journey. Last fall, we saw a pediatrician before we moved, and they had stated that our daughter might have either developmental delay or fall on the autism spectrum. What do you do when you hear those words? I mean, it was just so heart-wrenching for me at first as a parent. I mean, that's a tough one to swallow. I mean, I just remember being really angry and upset, the whole guilt blame thing. What did I do wrong? How could I have been a better parent? Was there something we didn't do? Did I not eat right during my pregnancy? I'm asking all of these questions as if somehow all of these questions are going to have answers attached to them, but the truth is there's just really no good solid answer for it. And I really believe that even before my generation and the generation before that, and maybe even the generation before that, there may have been even more individuals that were not tested. That had they been tested and had the advances that they have now, we would have found some more people falling on the spectrum, and we might even have more linkages and understanding as to why this is happening. And I had to make a decision. I could either really dwell on the fact that this is all my fault, which is a lie. That really wasn't true. What could I do, about this? Or, where do we go from here? What's the result? What steps do we take? And we didn't really know when we moved here. It's not like the resources were hanging out there for me to know exactly where to go to. I wasn't familiar with the state's resources, and through a friend, we eventually got connected with our local ISD and began the process of having our daughter evaluated, and that pediatrician was correct. I mean, that anger, those feelings I was feeling was because he was telling me the truth and something that was just really hard for me to receive. But here it was, the evidence was there. She went under rigorous testing. I mean, the pile of paperwork was a mountain high. I mean, I can't even tell you how many hours, days, weeks, months we spent just going through the process itself. It was like a good 3.5, 4-month process, having all of these meetings and all this testing. I mean, oh my gosh, it was so much. But you know what? It was so worth it to find out that there really was a solution to what was going on. That now we may not have all the answers, but at least we have a stepping stone and we have an idea of what we're working with. And I was just so encouraged today. We had the opportunity to meet with our case manager at a local community health partners, and she's beginning some services in school. I mean, we're just seeing huge results. I mean, her school is amazing. She's got a psychologist, she's got an occupational and a speech therapist, she's got 4 paraprofessionals in her room along with a teacher. She's 1 of 9 kids. The ratios are great. She's getting all the sensory and motor room and gym and recess and art and music and who knows what else. And she's just doing phenomenal. I mean, we're seeing more eye engaging, more interactions, more wanting to cuddle and snuggle and imaginative, creative play. We're seeing her not dart off. We're seeing her wanting to sit at a table and focus to do artwork. We're just seeing this whole new Micaiah emerging. And it wasn't even that she wasn't even there. It was that we had to separate what she was being labeled as a diagnosis from what her true little personality is. And I'm just really here to encourage some of these parents. I know firsthand, as a mom, as a wife, as a parent, what it's like to have to process something that's really difficult to swallow, that you may even think to a degree is your fault. But I'm here to share with you, it's not your fault. You've been laid on my heart all morning long. And some of you moms, dads, parents, just teachers, staff, are just really disenchanted with situations that are in your life that involve children you either work with or children that you have in your home, or children in situations that you know of, that your heart just aches for them. You're so touched and connected and linked in their lives, and there's just got to be something more for you, and you're struggling to figure out what it is you did wrong or what you could have done different. And I'm here to share being you is the best thing that you could be to your child. And any roles or titles that you feel that you need to be, I'm here to share with you. If you do not feel led to walk in them in your situation or with your children, I ask that you either delegate them over, you give them to an expert that can handle the situation, and you forgive, bless, and release yourself from those false responsibilities and roles that you are in, because it's not true. It's not true, and you didn't do anything wrong. The truth is, God designed you to be that mom, that dad, that teacher, that staff member for a reason. And sometimes the situation has just so much dysfunction or so many dynamics. There could be just too many hands in it, or just a lot of complexity, that it makes it really difficult and challenging to either know how to address the situation correctly or to know what steps to take next. And sometimes it's taking steps forwards and going backwards in order to go forwards again. But whatever you do, pray, seek knowledge, ask for understanding every step of the way, because the truth is you were chosen to be in that child's life for a reason. You were the best qualified, and even if you were not qualified, God chose you, so He made you qualified for what you're doing. But don't ever feel like you have to be all roles to all people, to all children in their life, or you're a bad parent, you're a bad teacher, you didn't perform well enough, you're a mistake, you're a failure. You are not a failure. You are not a screw up as a parent. There may be some learning curves. There may be some things that need to be corrected. You might need to make some tweaks. You might need to learn some creativity. You might need to learn some new skills. But you are not a mistake. And there is no mistake that you're linked to this child. And whatever it is that you need, I would most definitely encourage you. I know a tool that has helped tremendously is Grooming the Next Generation to Success by our corporate trainer, Danny Johnson. I'm not here to sell you on anything or market anything to you. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. That's the last thing. But I couldn't live with myself if I didn't know that I was sharing this information with you, just as another tool, as a resource guide, as parents, as educators, as trainers, as equippers. We should always want something more for the children. They're the next generation. They're there to grow and to learn so that they can take those skills and to help our economy, to help those that are in need. And it starts with us as parents. Educators, trained clinical staff, whatever that looks like. This is your chance of a lifetime to make the greatest impact on children that you've ever made. And if this child does not receive it from you, they could be missing the mark altogether. I can't even tell you how much more, because we watched Grooming the Next Generation and we plugged and we took in notes, and we were not afraid as parents to not be all those titles and all those roles. And believe me, as a mom, I struggled with that because I wanted to be the career woman, and I've been so blessed because most moms want to stay at home with their kids, and I've been able to have that career and work at home and still be that role as a mother. But I'm not all roles. I struggle with, do I homeschool her? She's 3 years old. I notice some things are off. Do I work with her extra? Do I delegate? Do I hire a trained professional that can handle these things, that is qualified? And it's not because I did anything wrong or that I didn't have the qualifications. It's just I didn't feel led to be that role. I wanted to focus on being mom to my daughter. She needed me as a mom. I needed her to be my daughter, right? These things need to work hand in hand. And to be the best mom that I could possibly be to her, I had to make some really tough decisions alongside of my husband. We did this together. We really teamed up. But what we're noticing is that the things that we learned from grooming, we've been able to help, work with the staff at her school. I mean, you would think they were already naturally trained because they're so good at listening. We were so concerned that we were going to lose our place and lose our voice and what it meant to give up that control, please, quite honestly. But it was the most rewarding thing that we ever did. And just to see from where she was, inconsistent eye contact, darting, not listening to, really honing in on those skills. What is it going to take to learn, to grow, and to study grooming the next generation, to be able to share this with our educators, and to be able to really grow and, expand and share this knowledge and grow the team, because it really takes a tribe to raise a child. I'm sure you've heard that phrase before, and it is so incredibly true. I mean, it definitely, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, right? We all need each other, to encourage one another, and just to let you know that, you're not out there alone. It's not just you as a parent that's going through this, but it's the staff, it's the professional. I mean, they care so much about your child. And, I mean, all those that are in education, that are clinically assessing kids, that are trying to help unlock their potential and unleash them and to see them blossom and grow. You have the most important role of them all, because we as parents could not have done this without any of you. I mean, we are so thankful that we prayed, that we sought out resources, that we learned what we could. We're constantly increasing our knowledge. I don't think you can ever know too much about parenting or caring for your child or other children, or speaking life into them, encouraging them. I mean, whatever that looks like. We are called right now as this generation to groom that next generation, and what we do now really matters. So I just really encourage you, if you haven't already and you want to learn about who this corporate trainer is and how we're seeing all these breakthroughs with our daughter, I definitely encourage you to visit www.dannyjohnson.com. You can look underneath the products section, and there will be an entire book about grooming the next generation to success. You can even get the audio that's to that. I would recommend both. In addition to that, if you're just struggling as a parent, you really, find yourself wanting to connect, you really are not sure what your next steps are. Should you be working? Maybe you're, scrubbing the dishes and vacuuming so often, and you're wanting to occupy your time in a more productive way. Maybe you are just wanting to talk one-on-one. You're in a situation with your child. You're having them tested. You're going through some behavioral issues. You need to know that you're not alone as a parent. Maybe you just need somebody to listen or to pray with you. I don't want you to be disenchanted. You're worth more than just being a parent. You're not just a parent. You're not just a wife or a mother or a father or a husband. It is so much more than that. You're not just an educator. Your time and your knowledge and your skill is worth so much more than that. It's worth investing into yourself, especially even if you had 10 kids that were not having breakthrough, but you had one child that was. Wouldn't it be worth that one child's life to you? Definitely want to be able to connect with you. I definitely don't want you to feel like a failure or a disappointment. I want you to know that somebody really is in your corner, and there is a place for us to do that. I would love to pray, listen, hear your story, connect with you one-on-one, see how I can be there just for you. Not because I want any business out of it, not because I want something to gain from it, because I want to get to know you. I understand firsthand what that means to really struggle and have a child with autistic spectrum disorder, ASD, and it definitely has its moments where it has its challenges, but I am so grateful that God called us to be our daughter Micaiah's parents. I mean, what an amazing, incredible, beautiful, talented child. I mean, she's so high functioning, and with the help and with what she's getting, it is unlocking her, and the generation, the impact that she can have, the influence that she can have, what she can do to serve others will be so much greater because we did have these resources and we did plug in. And I just want you to know that those resources are available, and there are people that you don't even know that are loving on you, that are praying for you. If you would just like to connect because you just want that prayer, you just want to get to know somebody else, another mom to teacher, whatever that looks like, I would love to connect with you, and you can do so by reaching out to me. Let me give you my email. It's Tara, T-A-R-A, Cherie, C-H-E-R-I-E, Consulting, C-O-N-S-U-L-T-I-N-G, @gmail.com. Again, that's Tara, Cherie, Consulting, @gmail.com. I believe in you. Never give up in your potential. Never give up in a child's potential. Never give up in the potential. Even if there are barriers, it is worth you continuing to press in and to gather these resources so that you can be the best you can be in this child's life. I wish you a wonderful evening. I'm thinking about you. God bless you. I look forward to connecting with you. Have a great night. Good night.